Ever wish you could boost your productivity by absorbing more content in less time? Today, I want to dive into Sumizeit and take a look at how you could really augment and improve the way you consume knowledge and information to get more out of it. All right, let's get into it. With Sumizeit, I'm going to show you the screen first, and then we're going to dive in kind of behind the scenes so I can explain a little bit more about this. If you are not familiar with this or this type of service, basically what they're talking about here and what they give you is the ability to learn faster with book summaries. And they have, a lot of best-selling titles to choose from, things like Atomic Habits, Steve Jobs, like different books, right? These cover, it's more than just productivity. There's a lot of really good information available here so you can consume it more quickly. And for myself personally, the way I use these services is to either extract some information very quickly or a lot of times to decide whether or not I want to spend more time diving into the full book. A lot of times there's context that you might want, there's the stories involved with it, or it just might be a really good read. And so I find that these tools like Sumizeit can be a really helpful launching off point instead of investing all of the time up front on a book or a reference material, whatever it might be, but to get things started. So with this, I want to share with you what I have found, the things I think are going to work really well, what makes this kind of a valuable service, and kind of go from there. If you ever have any questions, comments about this, leave a comment on the video and I will be happy to get back to you. Okay, once we get logged in, you can kind of see here it's a very simple layout, and I mean that in a good way. It's not distracting. There's not a lot to do. You have access to the books. They have infographics, which I'll talk about in a minute. They have a blog, and then we'll talk about the pricing as well. So we have a couple different things going on here. We have some recommendations. You can, of course, view all, search through that. New releases, which is handy. Try a random book, which I think is a really good idea. And then again, the infographics. So let's dive into the books first. I want to share, I'm just going to pick one that actually I haven't looked at this. Let's look at The Innovator's Dilemma. Okay, so here we go. We are faced with the overview page right now. So we get this, we get the information we need up front, and we can either read or listen. And then we've got the brief summary. We've got background on the author, which I find to be important. I like to know, especially if I'm not familiar, what's this person's background, maybe potentially what are their biases. But looking at this, I can understand more quickly what's going on, and then getting into the details here, which actually, let's go over here and let's take a look at read now. Okay. So when we go into that, this is really handy. They have it broken down, so we can go to next, previous, and I'm not going to bore you with going all the way through, but this is nice that they have it kind of chunked up. I think that you can go through this and very quickly, finish a page, digest that if you need to. The audio, what I like about this is I'm not going to play this too long. It's nice having it right there. The only thing, hopefully in the future, what they do is sync it so that when the audio reaches the end of this current whatever you're looking at, it goes to the next one. I find it's nice to have that in the event that you're sitting here and you're kind of following along. I like to have things kind of synced up like that, but not a major issue. Over here on the left, we've got the key insights, and over here as well, text size. If you want to increase the text size, you can cycle through that. That's handy for people like me who maybe want to have a little bit larger font. And then of course we can change from day and night. And then I like these options, and I tested these earlier, and send to Kindle is a nice option if you spend a lot of time reading on the Kindle or want to do that instead of reading on a screen, which I certainly understand. That is really nice. And all you have to do, and they include the instructions, is you add their email address that they send it from to your personal documents allowed list. Again, they even give you the link. It's very simple, and it doesn't take any time, and worked right away for me. No issues there. And you can also download the PDF or add it to your library so you can get back to it more quickly. Okay, so back out on the main page here, There is now the infographic, I think, is a good time to tie into this because I do feature these. And so, for example, it says, download infographics with key insights from the best-selling nonfiction books. So if we go over here, and it's important to note, but I think this is a cool add-on that I haven't seen. These are one-off. It does not come with the subscription, and they talk about that down here. They do this in partnership with another company, so it's a one-off fee, but they were nice enough to provide me one. I wanted to check those out first before sharing that, or I wouldn't want to really talk about that. And I think that I can see why they're really getting into a bunch where they're summarizing multiple books or the key takeaways, things like that. And if you're more of you want this type of layout, this might be for you. For me personally, I'm okay with reading a summary, coming up with the notes, but for some people this can be a much better option. So I think it's cool that it's available and out there. So pricing overall. So I think that this could potentially be a strong point where some of these services can be a little spendy, and I think it depends on, again, what you're looking for. I think the strength here with Sumizeit is short summaries that will give you a quick overview, and that might be worth this price where you're getting in and you're able to access all of this information. I think at $25 a year for a yearly access to this is a really good deal. And again, it's up to you to figure out if this is something where you need this or not. I assume if you've made it this far into the video that you're interested in the idea of book summaries. And if you've checked out competitors, you can just compare and see what works for you and what makes the most sense. Again, with these, I don't think that there's always a one size fits all. It's seeing what works best, testing things out, and going from there. But I think with this pricing, for now, they've made it very accessible and easy to use. And I like that they have some of these integrations like the sync with Kindle, the audio narrations. Something I would love to see would be an integration with Readwise and Reader. As a big user of that service, I find that that's really helpful. If I could add some highlights, things like that, I think that would be a really big improvement. So going back into the books page, I think it's one of these things where if you want to check out summaries and potentially either use them on their own, or if you want to make use of them like I do, where I use this a lot of times to figure out if I want to spend more time on a book, or if I need to dive deeper, if the summary isn't enough, that maybe there's, again, context missing or something like that, that this could be a good service potentially for you to check out. Again, if you have comments, questions about the service, things that I maybe didn't answer that you were curious about, let me know. Happy, again, to get back to you. And if you want to check out other reviews on other topics like this, just check out the channel. There's a bunch more videos. I love talking about the services that I use and things that I've found helpful. Other than that, I'm going to wrap it up here. Hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching.